Today we're going to learn how to add rational expressions. I put that addition and subtraction together because, as we know, addition and subtraction work in almost the exact same way. The only difference between addition and subtraction is that subtraction is addition by an opposite. So let's take, for example, that we have this rational expression here. We have one fraction being subtracted from another. But the problem with adding and subtracting fractions is that we've always had to get a common denominator. So in order to do that, we're not going to try to find a least common denominator here. All we're going to do is we're just going to multiply these two together. As you can see, our common denominator is x plus 2 times x plus 1. So let's look at our example. We look at problem number 4 on the Arithmetic of Rational Expressions page. We have these two fractions here. I need to get a common denominator before I do anything else. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply this by this. So my common denominator is going to be x minus 9 times x. Since it's just an x by itself, I'm going to write it out here on the front. That is our common denominator. But now, I'm going to write two of them because of the fact that I had two separate fractions. The next step says to multiply what each denominator is missing into the numerator. If we get a look at this over here, I need to turn this fraction into something that has this denominator. The difference between this one and this one is that this one here has an x, while this one up here does not. Because of the fact that I multiplied an x into this denominator, I also have to multiply it into the numerator. So this is going to be x times 4x, but that'll just be 4 times x times x. I'm not going to put them together yet. All I know, though, is that because I multiplied in this x, I'm going to multiply in this x. What you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. That is the same as multiplying by 1. This was an addition problem, so I'm going to keep it an addition problem. Now, let's go ahead and think about what we have over here. Again, it needs this denominator, but this denominator over here only had x. It did not have this x minus 9. So I'm going to multiply in an x minus 9. What this does for me is that I'm going to keep my numerator here that I originally had, but now I need to multiply this in, x minus 9. If I were to cancel these out, I'd have what I originally had. We're not going to do that right now, but that's what we do here. So the next thing that we are going to do is we're going to go ahead and add these together. The rule of fractions is that when you have common denominators, you keep the denominator and you just add the numerators. So I'm going to do just that right now. We're going to have 4 times x plus the quantity of 9 times x minus 9, all divided by same denominator, x times x minus 9. The next thing is that we're going to go ahead and simplify our numerator. So I'm going to put in everything together and do all of our distribution as necessary. 4 times x is x squared. Well, 4x squared. 4x squared. It's going to be added to, let's distribute. 9 times x is 9x. 9 times negative 9 is negative 81. All divided by, I'm going to go ahead and distribute this one as well. X times x is x squared. X times negative 9 is negative 9x. At this point, I'm not really going to bother with trying to factor and see if there's anything I can cancel out. This right here is good enough. As long as we understand how the fractions are added to each other and we get our simplified expression, we can go ahead and leave it at that. That is how you add rational expressions.